Hello and welcome to today's video. Today another ink review and looking at an ink from one of those brands that is held up worldwide for sort of obvious reasons. That brand is Montblanc. Now Montblanc is a luxury brand. Their products are priced as luxury products, but also remember, Montblanc is not a pen brand. It is not an ink brand. It is a luxury lifestyle brand. So luggage, perfume, jewelry. They happen to make pens and ink as well. One thing they do very well is they do these sort of themed editions, or they're limited editions or special editions. And they've been doing some around the world, or in 80, Jules Verne around the world in 80 days stuff. And the ink we're looking at today is Coal Blue from the Meisterstück Around the World in 80 Days series. It comes beautifully, simply, cleanly packaged. I really enjoy this. Pull the ink out there, and then we get the little bottle here, as we can see. Encre Bleu, made in Austria. And this is the Coal Blue from Around the World in 80 Days. So this is how it looks on a colouring card. It is a very grey blue. I would call this much closer to a grey than a blue. I'd even call, at times, this closer to a green. But it is still a beautiful colour. When I first saw swatches of this ink, I knew I had to get a bottle. I don't get all the limited editions from Montblanc. There's just too many, and there are too many that are similar. This one felt different, so I was excited to get it. And I've really been enjoying using it. So let's look at it on some paper, and we'll do a quick colour comparison and all that kind of stuff. So we start with the ink here on 52 GSM Tomo River paper. This is the old Tomo River paper in a Galen leather everyday notebook. So this is Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days, Coal Blue. I had this in my Leonardo Memento Zero Grande 2.0 with a medium nib, and then a very simple Jinhao 20 with an extra fine nib. You can see in the swatch, you get lots of those greens and greys. It's really very interesting. Low water resistance, but the detail is left behind, but you're losing a lot of the color. Now, as I said earlier, this is a luxury ink, and this small bottle here, which is a 50ml bottle, so it's not that small, but it's only 50 mils of ink, is US $50 and 75 Australian dollars, which puts it in line with inks like the Caran d'Ache inks and things like that. Way more expensive than anything else. If you look at, I'll use Diamine as the example again, because it's kind of my go-to. A 80ml bottle of Diamine will cost about 26 Australian dollars. So you are paying the Montblanc tax, if you will. You want the tip of that snow cap on the bottle there, you're going to pay a little bit more. Okay, but it looks great here. It's a little bit of sheen, nice tight lines, beautiful shading. Like if we look at where I've written Leonardo Memento Zero Grande there, beautiful shading. And then on the reverse of this page, nothing has come through. Like there's show through, of course, it's Tomo River 52 GSM paper, but nothing has actually come through, not even the swatch. So I'm really a big fan of inks that perform well. And this is a slightly dry ink, I will say that. Like, it's not the wettest ink going around, and even in that Leonardo, it feels a little dry on the page, but you can see it performs very nicely here. But how does it perform on lower end paper? Well, we'll start with the student notepad paper, and on the face here, it's okay. There's a bit of feathering, a little bit of spread, much more washed out, but it looks okay. There's even some shading. Let's look where it's written Coal Blue there. There is shading on this paper. The reverse of this, it's okay. It holds up alongside other inks. Nothing special about it. This is it here. But, it does the job. On the standard 80 GSM copy paper here, it looks a little darker. We're not getting as much of the shading, but it's definitely a grey on this page. And in the Jinhao 20, it's almost leaning towards a black. And on the reverse of that, once again, a little bit has sort of come through, but nothing too bad. It performs well enough. I certainly, if I was using this ink and someone handed me a form to sign, I wouldn't have necessarily a huge issue in doing that. And then, of course, we have it here on the standard rodeo paper. Once again, same thing with the water resistance. The ink moves around it. We lose a lot of it. Nice, dark, rich swatch. and then in the writing, it looks all very neat and tidy. Shading, not any sheen on this, a little bit more, sort of interesting color, but nothing sort of too exciting to write home about. And on the reverse of that page through here, nothing has come through. So it performs well. As I said, I would have no hesitation using this in an office setting where you might not have great control over the paper you have to write on. Okay, for the color comparison today, I pulled up the coloring card here once again. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it alongside Carbon Black from Platinum. You can see it is definitely not black, but it does lean into the sort of grey color, if you will. The next color I'm going to put it up alongside is Shinkai from Pilot Orochizuku, because I think it shows just how grey this ink leans. Like, this is a light blue-black ink at its core. And then a couple of other inks I want to put it alongside. Firstly, I've got Caran d'Ache Chromatics Infinite Grey. It's much darker. You can see the hints of the green and the hints of the blue that are coming through. Same alongside Diamine Earl Grey. And then two interesting inks I wanted to put alongside were firstly Daedra Isaac Newton, or Fog Grey. You can see there's some similarities in the middle there, but this gets a heck of a lot darker. It reminds me much more of Endless Alchemy's Wizard's Pencil, which is an ink I really love. It's just not quite as green as Wizard's Pencil. So Coal Blue is an interesting name. There's not a whole lot of blue in this ink. It's certainly on the grayer end, but it is certainly an interesting ink and fits nicely into these surrounding colors. So that was Montblanc Around the World in 80 Days Coal Blue ink. I hope you found this video interesting and useful. I certainly really enjoy Montblanc inks. I've got a lot of them that I love. I think of things like that Beatles Psychedelic Purple, some of the standard line inks, even down to Mystery Black, but the old Lavender Purple, the old Corn Poppy Red, Irish Green, great inks. Whoever makes the inks for Montblanc, whether it's them or someone else, and there are rumors, they are good quality inks. They perform well. They look great on the page, but you are paying a much higher price for that snow cap. So 75 Australian, vaguely 2 to 3 times the price of anything sort of similar in terms of volume, but lovely inks, unique color, and one I really enjoy. So I hope you found this video interesting and useful. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you would like to support the channel, I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your inks, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.